Hey, Steelers Nation! Welcome back to the channel. It's been a roller coaster season, and I know we're all feeling it. But here's one thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We never stop striving for greatness. The team is constantly working to improve, and while the road has been bumpy, the destination is always clear, bringing another Lombardi trophy back to the Steel City. Before we dive into today's explosive topic, Stephen A. Smith's criticism of Mike Tomlin and the Steelers' direction, show your support for the black and gold by smashing that like button and hitting subscribe. Let's make sure you stay up to date with every move the Steelers make this offseason. Now, let's get into it because, Steelers Nation, we have a lot to unpack. Stephen A. Smith, one of the loudest voices in sports media, had some harsh words for our beloved head coach, Mike Tomlin. Is it time to ask tough questions about his tenure? Let's break it all down. On ESPN's First Take, Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back when discussing the Steelers' struggles in recent years. How about the fact that he's looking around? You've got one coordinator after another, and the same old happens, Smith said. Let's pause right there, Steelers Nation. Do you think Stephen A. has a point? Are we stuck in a cycle of underperformance? Smith went on to point out a painful statistic. The Steelers haven't won a playoff game since the 2016 season. And while Tomlin's streak of avoiding losing seasons is impressive, Smith gave it a twist. Do y'all know the Steelers are the first team in the Super Bowl era to go 8 straight seasons without a losing record, but with 0 playoff wins? Ouch. That's a tough pill to swallow, especially for a franchise with such a storied history. Steelers Nation, how does that stat sit with you? Is consistency enough if it doesn't lead to postseason success? Since that last playoff win, a hard-fought victory over the Kansas City Chiefs in January 2017, the Steelers have endured 6 playoff exits. 3 of those were blowouts where we gave up more than 40 points. The others, double-digit losses that left us questioning what went wrong. Smith didn't stop there. He speculated on how this might feel for our star players. If I'm T.J. Watt, I'm looking at this franchise. I know how great I am, but I know how great we're not, he said. Let's be real. T.J. Watt is a generational talent. Watching him pour everything into this team year after year, only to see it fall short, is frustrating for all of us. What do you think, Steelers Nation? How much longer can players like Watt stay patient with the current direction of the team? Now let's talk about what's coming next. One thing is clear. The Steelers are headed for significant changes this offseason. While the front office has made it known that Mike Tomlin isn't going anywhere, that doesn't mean other coaches are safe. Reports suggest that a major shakeup is likely, especially among the offensive and defensive coordinators. 7 coordinators have cycled through Pittsburgh since the team's last playoff triumph, and yet the results have been stagnant. Will 2025 bring fresh faces and ideas to the coaching staff? And it's not just the staff. The roster is poised for a significant overhaul with questions at nearly every position. Najee Harris. He's approaching free agency and his future with the team is uncertain. Should the Steelers re-sign him, or is it time to look for a new workhorse? George Pickins. The young wide receiver has shown flashes of brilliance but has also been outspoken about the team's struggles. Could his candor and inconsistency lead to a move elsewhere? Quarterback. Kenny Pickett has shown promise, but is he the long-term answer? Could the Steelers look to add competition at QB? Steelers Nation, this is your time to weigh in. Who do you want to see stay, and who do you think it's time to part ways with? This all circles back to the big question. Is Mike Tomlin's culture still effective? Tomlin has long been praised for his leadership and ability to maintain a steady ship, but as Stephen A. Smith pointed out, that hasn't translated to postseason success in nearly a decade. The AFC North is one of the toughest divisions in football, and the Steelers need to reclaim their dominance. It's about grit, toughness, and finding players who embody the spirit of Steelers football. But is the current regime capable of fostering that? Steelers Nation, let me ask you this. Do you still believe in Mike Tomlin as the leader of this team? If so, what needs to change around him to make this work? Steelers wide receiver George Pickins is quickly becoming a fan favorite, and for good reason. This season, he showed us that he's not just talented, but a potential superstar. Whether it's making jaw-dropping catches or stepping up in big moments, Pickins has proven he has what it takes to be a true WR1 in the NFL. After the Steelers' disappointing wild-card loss to the Baltimore Ravens, emotions were running high. Players were frustrated, fans were left wanting more, and let's be honest, the locker room was filled with questions. But amidst the chaos, Pickins took a moment to connect with the heart of this franchise, you, the fans. On Instagram, he posted a heartfelt message. "Love y'all boys, girls, Steelers Nation. We'll be back. Much love." This wasn't just a generic post-game comment. This was Pickins showing his appreciation for the passion and loyalty of Steelers fans, even after a tough end to the season. Now, here's where things get interesting. As much as we'd love to see George Pickens continue to shine in the black and gold, there are some tough questions ahead. Pickens is entering the final year of his rookie contract, and with his production, he's on track for a massive payday. But that raises a critical question for the Steelers' front office. Can they afford to keep him? There are whispers, yes, whispers, that Pickens could be a trade candidate this offseason. It's a painful thought, isn't it? Trading away one of the team's brightest stars? But hear me out. The Steelers are facing significant roster needs, and the draft compensation they could get for Pickens might help them address multiple positions. If Pickens is looking at a major contract extension, the team may choose to move him rather than risk losing him for nothing after next season. Steelers Nation, I know this is tough to even think about. Would you rather keep Pickens as the centerpiece of the offense, or should the team explore a trade to fill other holes? Let me know in the comments below. Let's not forget that the Steelers are likely to undergo major changes this offseason, not just with players, but also with the coaching staff. After another first-round playoff exit, it's clear that things need to be shaken up. For Pickens, the potential changes could have a huge impact on his role in the offense. Here are a few scenarios to consider. A new quarterback, the Steelers, might be looking for a fresh face under center. How would a new QB affect Pickens' chemistry and production? A new WR duo. If the Steelers add another big-name receiver in free agency or the draft, could that create the best 1-2 punch in the AFC North, or take targets away from Pickens? A revamped offense. With potential coaching changes, the offensive system could look very different in 2025. Would this be an opportunity for Pickens to shine even brighter, or could it hinder his growth? Steelers Nation, what's your take? Do you think a new QB or revamped offensive scheme is what Pickens needs to hit the next level? Or is it time for the team to double down and build entirely around him? Let's take a step back and think about what George Pickens means to this team and its fans. He's not just a playmaker, he's a symbol of what this team can be. A young, dynamic, exciting player who brings that edge we love so much in Pittsburgh. Pickens' passion on the field and his connection to the fans are exactly what Steelers football is all about. And his Instagram post shows that he gets it. He understands the loyalty, the fire, and the expectations that come with wearing the black and gold. But the question remains, is he part of the long-term plan? Or is this offseason the moment where the Steelers make a difficult decision for the greater good of the team? All right, Steelers Nation, it's your turn to sound off. Stephen A. Smith has thrown down the gauntlet, and now we need to respond. Do you think Mike Tomlin deserves more blame for the team's struggles? What changes do you want to see on the coaching staff and roster this offseason? And most importantly, how do we get back to competing for Lombardi trophies? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This is your chance to shape the conversation around the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before you go, don't forget to like this video if you're as passionate about this team as we are. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for all the latest Steelers news, updates, and off-season analysis. Thank you for tuning in, Steelers Nation. Let's keep the conversation going, and as always, here we go, Steelers, here we go.